Hello guys, this is Dr. Ankita Patni this side, and in this video we'll be learning about the training concept of corporate social responsibility, that is CSR. So gear up for some witty learning techniques and also some smarter ways to present your answers. Here we go. Now moving on towards the introductory part. As we all know, in today's competitive scenario, the corporates are now expected to have greater transparency and also increased concern towards the society and environment. Well, philanthropy and charity has been a long tradition in India, and this has eventually evolved into the concept of CSR. Now, CSR is the voluntary contribution or the commitment of the businesses towards the society, environment, and also the workforce. Here we need to focus on the highlighted words. Number one, it is the voluntary contribution or the commitment towards three things: society, workforce, and the environment. Now we'll see in which areas these practices can be followed. These practices can be followed in any area, be it health, education, infrastructure development, development of the community, upliftment of the poor classes, in any form. As we have seen the broad outline of the concept, now we'll move towards the standardized definitions of CSR. However, CSR has been defined by many authors and institutions in recent times. I have just enumerated certain definitions given by the famous personalities or the famous institutions, but the most standard used definitions here are of the European Commission and the World Business Council for Sustainable Development. You may just go through these definitions and reproduce them in your examinations. The most standardized definitions I have highlighted in red for your kind reference. Now we'll see some of the examples of the companies following CSR practices. While almost all the corporate houses of the world in some way or the other are following these practices, however the leading examples on Indian and global level are of Tata, Mahindra, P&G, ITC, Dabur from India, and Google, GE, IBM, Bosch, Microsoft are from the global scenario. So here is a easy trick for your answers. Always include examples of these companies while writing your answers to enhance the importance of the concept, such as we can use cheesy lines like today almost all the big corporate houses of the world such as Google, IBM, ITC and all are incorporating these practices besides carrying out their main businesses. Now the question arises, why the companies need to follow these practices, or what are the reasons that persuade these companies to incline towards adoption of such practices? We'll see them point by point. Number one is the brand status. Obviously, the consumers have a soft corner for the companies that are involved into such practices. This enhances their reputation. The next is the laws and regulations. In India, there have been certain laws and regulations made of late that persuade these companies to follow these practices. It has been mandated for certain companies on certain points to follow these practices. We'll be learning about that in detail subsequently. The next is the philanthropy. The next is the competitive labor market. The employees today have become much more aware of their working conditions, and the companies which provide them superior working conditions and better facilities are always attractive to the better talent pool. And the next is social awareness and education. The people all over the world are now much aware and are much inclined towards the companies that are behaving socially. So, these are the key drivers. Coming towards the regulatory framework of CSR in India, now we'll see what are the legal provisions regarding adoption of these practices by the companies. While in the earlier Companies Act 1956, there were no such provisions for compulsory adoption of these practices by the companies, but with the advent of Companies Act 2013, these practices have been made compulsory, and with this, India has become the first country of the world to legally mandate CSR practices on certain threshold limits. Please mark my words. India became the first country to legally mandate CSR practices for certain companies. Now, Section 135 and Schedule 7 of the Companies Act contain all the provisions, rules, and regulations regarding mandatory adoption of these practices by the companies on certain threshold limits, and these are well supported by the CSR Rules 2014. Here, please focus on the highlighted words. Section 135 and Schedule 7 of the Companies Act 2013 and supported by CSR Rules which came into effect on April 1, 2014. And don't forget, India became the first country to legally mandate CSR. Getting into some deeper details, now we'll see what are the threshold limits for applicability of the CSR to the company. That is, on what parameters it becomes compulsory for a company to adopt these practices. The first one is the net worth of the company to be rupees 500 crore or more, turnover of the company to be rupees 1000 crore or more, or net profit of the company to be rupees 5 crore or more. Now the students, while writing their answers, often get confused between all these word turnover, profit, 500, 1005. These sometimes mingle it up. So just to cross check your answer or to remember it very well, here's a witty technique. Just remember the initials of the words to the extreme left. W for word, T for turnover, and profit, P for profit. WTP. You might be well acquainted with this word, right? World Trade Path. So please remember it over here. As we move to the extreme right, crore or more is common for all the 3 points. Now to remember 500, 1000, we can link it. Currency notes have been banned for 500, 1000, and 5 is very easy to remember. I know you won't be forgetting it. So if any of these conditions have been fulfilled, the company has to spend in every financial year at least 2% of the average net profits of the company made during the 3 immediately preceding financial years. Here we need to remember 2 things. At least 2% of the profits for 3 preceding financial years. So 2 and 3. Now we'll come across the advantages of CSR. CSR is advantageous both to the company who is adopting these practices as well as to the society and the environment in whose favor these activities have been carried on. The benefits to the company we have already seen in the key drivers of CSR. Let's have a quick glance at them. Increases goodwill, attraction and retention of the consumers, competitive advantage, and all these 3 points are leading to increased profitability of the business. It is helping in attracting new talents and retaining a workforce. Then reduction of legal actions that may take place if the company is abiding by eco-friendly practices, devices while carrying out its operations, and it is also abiding by pollution control acts and all. So it is ultimately leading to reduction of legal actions against the company. Then it is helping in favorable relationship with stakeholders, be it consumers, suppliers, vendors, etc. The society and the environment are obviously benefited, and the actions taken by these corporates may affect the community on a very large level for a very longer period of time. So it's like a win-win situation for both the parties. Now, as thumb rule, along with the praises comes criticism as well. This concept, though may be very advantageous to the company and all, but it has been equally criticized by the management experts on certain grounds. Some of the arguments given against the concept by the management experts are: firstly, CSR allow businesses to project positive image by doing very little. The companies may do a very little deed on a very little level for the society and may exaggerate it just to gain attention or to build a positive image in the public. Secondly, CSR activities engaged in by some businesses contradict with their actual business practices and tendencies of the businesses. It might happen that while indulging in these activities, the businesses may divert from the main objective. They may relocate their funds, their resources, and their attention while the main motive of the business is to earn profits. Thirdly, CSR is an empty promise and it is only an effective public relations tool. As we have seen earlier, it may be used as an advertisement tool, some marketing tool, or just to get attention, just to build a good reputation in the market. The companies may get involved in these practices. And lastly, lower economic efficiency and profits, as these activities needs a lot of funds, resources, time, energy, workforce, everything it needs. So it just affects the businesses from which these resources have been diverted. So guys, this was all about the concept of CSR. If you want to have more such videos on specific topics, you may just drop in the comment section below. I'll definitely come up with more videos. Thank you for your time and attention. Stay tuned. Wish you all the best for your learning.